Welcome to Haunted Horizons, a place where the veil between the living and the dead grows thin, where every shadow hides a secret and every whisper might be something calling your name. Tonight, we uncover a tale of terror, mystery, and the unknown. This is the haunting story of Whispers of Blackwood Manor, a place where the walls remember and the spirits never rest. So turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and step with me into the darkness. The story begins now. Chapter 1. The Invitation. I had always been drawn to the macabre, fascinated by the mysteries of the unknown. So when I received an unexpected letter inviting me to stay at Blackwood Manor, a long-abandoned mansion with a notorious history, I couldn't resist. The letter bore no sender's name, only an elegant signature, Eleanor Blackwood. Stories of the manor had circulated for generations. People spoke of whispers in the corridors, shadowy figures lurking in the halls, and the ghost of a woman who wept endlessly in the East Wing. Despite the warnings, my curiosity outweighed my fear, and on a crisp autumn evening, I set off toward the infamous estate. Chapter 2. The Arrival. The road to Blackwood Manor twisted through dense forests, the trees stretching like skeletal fingers toward the sky. As my car approached the entrance, an ominous feeling settled in my gut. The wrought iron gates creaked open on their own, as if expecting me. The mansion stood before me, its towering silhouette bathed in the dim glow of the moon. Ivy choked the stone walls, and the once grand windows were clouded with age. Stepping inside, I was met with a musty scent, the air thick with a silence so profound it seemed unnatural. A flickering chandelier barely illuminated the grand foyer, where an ornate staircase spiraled into darkness. I ran my fingers along the wooden banister, feeling the grooves of time worn into it. Then from somewhere deep within the mansion, a whisper slithered through the air. Welcome home. Chapter 3. The First Night. I chose a bedroom on the second floor, its large four-poster bed covered in dust. The sheets smelled of age, but exhaustion from the journey made it easy to ignore. I extinguished the candle by my bedside and let the darkness consume me. Sometime in the night, I awoke to the sound of footsteps outside my door. Slow, deliberate. I held my breath, listening. The knob twisted slightly, as if someone or something was testing it. A cold dread settled over me. Then, just as suddenly as it started, the footsteps retreated. I barely slept after that, every creak of the house setting my nerves on edge. Chapter 4. The Portraits. Morning light did little to ease my unease. Exploring the manor, I found a long corridor lined with portraits. The Blackwood ancestors stared down at me, their painted eyes seeming to follow my every move. One portrait, larger than the rest, caught my attention. It was of a woman in a flowing black gown, her dark eyes hollow and lifeless. A plaque beneath it read, Eleanor Blackwood, 1876. I felt an inexplicable pull toward the painting. As I reached out to touch the frame, a sudden gust of wind rushed through the corridor. Though no windows were open, the whispers returned, faint but insistent. Find me. Chapter 5. The Locked Door. Curiosity led me to explore further. At the end of the corridor, I found a door unlike the others, heavy, locked, and adorned with strange carvings. I pressed my ear against it and heard breathing. Slow, ragged breaths, as if something was waiting on the other side. That night, the whispers grew louder. I could no longer dismiss them as tricks of the wind. The mansion was alive, watching me, whispering secrets I wasn't meant to hear. Chapter 6. The Weeping Woman. On the third night, the weeping began. At first, it was soft, almost mournful, drifting through the halls. I followed the sound to the east wing, where the air was thick with decay. A single candle flickered at the end of the corridor, illuminating a figure standing with her back to me. A woman, her long dark hair cascading over her tattered gown. Her shoulders shook with silent sobs. "Eleanor," I whispered. The moment my voice broke the silence, she turned. Her face, gaunt, pale, eyes black as a starless night, stared back at me. Then, her mouth twisted open in a silent scream, and she lunged. Chapter 7. The haunting intensifies. I barely made it back to my room, slamming the door shut. The weeping continued, now just outside. Scratching noises echoed through the walls. Something wanted in. The nights blurred together. Shadows stretched unnaturally. Whispering voices called my name, and furniture moved when I wasn't looking. The locked door in the corridor rattled violently, as if something trapped inside was desperate to escape. Chapter 8. The Truth Unveiled. Determined to end the nightmare, I searched the library for answers. Hidden among dust-covered tomes, I found Eleanor Blackwood's diary. The final entry sent a chill through my bones. "I am trapped. He will not let me leave. My soul is bound to this house. To free me, the door must be opened." Was she the ghost? Or was something else lurking within Blackwood Manor? Chapter 9. The door opens. Armed with the truth, I returned to the locked door. The carving seemed to shift under my touch. With a deep breath, I turned the rusted key I had found with the diary. The door creaked open, revealing a pitch-black void. A sudden force pulled me inside. Eleanor's voice rang in my ears. "Set me free." Chapter 10. The Final Confrontation. I found myself in a hidden chamber, its walls lined with symbols of dark magic. In the center stood a grotesque figure, a monstrous entity bound in chains, its eyes burning with malice. Eleanor appeared beside me, no longer a specter, but a woman restored. "Destroy the sigil," she cried, pointing to an ancient rune on the wall. With every ounce of strength, I shattered the sigil. The entity let out a deafening shriek as its form dissolved into nothingness. The house trembled, the whispers turned to wails, and then silence. Epilogue. The end of the haunting. When I stepped outside, the first rays of dawn painted the sky. Blackwood Manor, once suffocating with its eerie presence, felt empty. The weight of the spirits had lifted. As I drove away, I glanced in the rearview mirror one last time. Eleanor Blackwood stood at the mansion's entrance, watching me. She smiled, a gesture of gratitude, before fading into the morning mist. The whispers were gone, but some nights, in the deepest silence, I still hear them. Thank you.